Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2. Welcome back, everyone. Looks like I do have audio. Is that correct? Let me know in the chat, please, if my audio is good. Welcome back to another episode of Golf Cart Garage. I am Tim. We come here every week on Tuesdays at 12 noon Central Time. Today is October the 14th. If you're watching us on October the 14th at 12 noon Central Time, you're watching us live. We are live on YouTube. We used to go live on Facebook and YouTube, but we had to switch that up. We're only live on YouTube now, and then the video gets uploaded to Facebook. Didn't have near enough activity on Facebook. But anyway, we are live. So we already got people in the room. Let me just make sure everything is running. And it is. We're looking good. This is episode 264. We've done this at least 264 times. Let me run social media links. You can follow us on, give us a like and a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. And you can also follow us on other platforms. I'm running those links now. Other social media links. Thank you for joining us every week. We try to answer some golf cart questions. We talk about golf carts and try to help people out with their golf cart and try to save people money. That's what this is all about. And if you need to order parts, you can order parts from Golf Cart Garage. That's who I work for, is for Golf Cart Garage. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Gene Hansen, what's going on, Gene Hansen? 67 sunny Michigan. Oh man, it's beautiful here. I might be going jet skiing this week. I mean, it is really nice. It's been, believe it or not, there is a point where it gets too hot to jet ski. I know that sounds crazy, but there's a point. But it's not that way now. It is very nice. Ricky Smith, good afternoon, Tim and the Gearheads. What's going on, Ricky Smith? Kurt, 85, waiting on some cool air in Bradenton, Florida. Well, it's coming. But we still have, this is probably the last week, I think, before we get the cool air. I've been watching the extended forecast here in Arkansas, and we're good for a few more days. I mean, it's going to be beautiful from, I think, through the weekend, but after that, I think things are really going to start changing here. David Irwin, good afternoon, Gearheads. 90 and humid here in Florida. Galactic, what's going on, Daniel? What's up, buddy? Thank you for joining us, everyone. Helpless Garage. Hey, guys, another beautiful 78 degrees in Cabot. See, Helpless is a little north of me in Arkansas, still in Arkansas, but just a little north of where I'm at. But it's, I think it's going to be in the mid-80s here today, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what my wife told me. Keith, hey Tim from Nashville with my friend Doug from Washington State, Washington, Tennessee, 75 degrees and sunny. Well, welcome Doug and Keith, welcome both of you. Thank y'all for joining us. David Irwin, please give Tim a like. Thank you, David. Bob Lewis, there did I go? Hey Tim and guys, beautiful here in LA, Lower Alabama. I bet it is pretty there now. Hello, Tim and good people. I apologize for missing last week's live stream. William, is that when that's when I showed your cart, right? I showed your cart and you weren't here to see it. I hope you saw the video. Is that what you're talking about? Keith, audio is good. Thank you, sir. Sounds good. Okay. Good afternoon. Kevin Salyer, sunny in Northwest Indiana. Louis Borghese, good afternoon to all. What's going on, Louis? Did you get your, did you receive your stuff yet, Louis? Please let me know in the chat. So if not, I'll check on it, because I don't think I got a tracking number, but I want to make sure you got it. Stephen Kuhn, greetings from Barth, Florida, sunny 79. What's going on, Stephen? Stephen, I have your pictures queued up today. So stick around, because we're going to look at your cart. Audio good in Michigan from Pete. Thank you, Pete. Mike Irvin, I'm sorry. Afternoon, Tim, 75 sunny in southwest Indiana. William Rizzo, it's 84 in the Villages. Brad's Restoration, getting cooler in Angelton, Texas. What's going on, Brad? I hadn't seen you in a while. I haven't talked to you in a while. Big Mike, what's going on, Big Mike? Big Frank, oh, hey, Big Frank. Happy Tuesday. Yep, this is Taco Tuesday. I'll check on that, Lewis. Thank you for letting me know that you haven't received it yet. I'm sure that it's been shipped, but I will check on it. And I'll send you I'm pretty sure I have that's right, I do have your email because I called you. I'll see if I can get a tracking number and see where that's at for you after I get off the live today. Galactic Technologies, I just got in some materials I've been waiting on, and I'll have some pics for you. All right, cool. Sir Walter. 67 and cloudy in North Carolina. Gary England, hey there everyone. What's going on, Gary? Oh, by the way, I just made a decision. You know how I said we're going to give away hats every now and then, and I'm not going to announce it, and it's just going to be spontaneous? Well, guess what? We're giving away another hat today. We just gave one away, I think, last week. I just decided we're giving away another hat today. So everybody has to stay to the end because we're going to give away another hat. I wish Lewis had received his. That way you know we actually do get the hat. You know, I actually do send them out, or Golf Cart Garage actually sends them out. But we're going to do it again today. Gary England and Larry England. All right, cool. David Irwin says cool on the hat. Yep, today is hat day again. How about that? All right. I guess we'll get started on the regular questions. Let's see what we got for today. See what we're going to talk about. Question number 1 is from Tyler. The brake pedal on my 88 G1 does not return to the upright position after being depressed. I use my foot to pull it back to release it. Have cleaned and WD-40'd the pedal assembly. Is there an adjustment, or are the springs bad? The brake cables don't seem to be binding that I can see. Well, let's see, what's your name, Tyler? As all of you know, I do have a G1, and that it's a very, very good system, the way that the brake works. It's amazing how long that thing lasts without any adjustment or anything like that. So my first thought would be, you might have something jammed up in there because it's kind of in a bad spot on a stock G1 that's not lifted. Any kind of stick or anything can get up in there and jam it. So you're going to have to either get your car up on a lift or get some kind of jack and look up on there just to make sure that there's not something stuck up under there. Do exactly what you said that you're going to do with the WD-40. Do that. But the one thing that I would do would be disconnect the brake cables from the wheels, from the rear wheels, and see if you still have the issue. You know, just so we can eliminate where the issue is. And if you, after you got them disconnected from there, disconnect it from the brake pedal itself and see if that cable goes back and forth freely. So it may be something like that. So you got to just eliminate where the resistance is coming from. It's not a common issue. I mean, other than just an obvious stick jammed up in there, because I have had that before. Hello from Westfield, Wisconsin. Albany, 58 degrees from Bruce. What's going on, Bruce? William Flowers from South Alabama, 87 and sunny. Awesome. All right, number 2. Number 2 is from Rick. I have Trojan batteries in my cart, which I check regularly and add water as needed with a battery filler. After I fill and put back on the charger, they overflow a bit. I don't overfill since I use the filler. Would appreciate your feedback. Now that is from Rick. Well, Rick, you're doing everything that you think you're supposed to be doing and you're still having a problem, but you are doing one thing backwards there. You're doing one thing backwards. You should not fill your batteries, even if you're using a filler. You should not fill your batteries until after you fully charge the cart. Now, that may be news to some people. What the deal is that the water level rises during the charge cycle. So if you were to fill your batteries, even using the filler, then put your cart on charge, whenever it gets fully charged, your water level is going to be too high. Now, it's not a lot that it fluctuates, but it does fluctuate. The water level rises during the charge cycle and goes down a little bit during the discharge cycle. In other words, when you use the cart. Yeah, fill after charging, Stephen. There you go. Charge first, then fill your water. Bart Gilman, good morning from North California, foothills, 50 and rain all day in North California. I bet it's beautiful there right now. Big Frank, I didn't know that. I will start charging it before adding distilled water. Yep, that is correct, Big Frank. Your water level rises a little bit during the charge cycle. So even if you use the filler and then charge your cart, it's going to be a little bit too high. And then you could end up with, acid coming out on top of your batteries, and then it's going to go to the first metal, which is going to be your battery post, and that's when corrosion starts. That's one of the main things that people have gotten wrong over the years, over and over and over again, is overfilling. I think I've said this before. There's 3 types of people when it comes to battery maintenance. You got people that never put water in their batteries. You got people that overfill their batteries, and then you got people that do it right. That's the 3 different types of people. Yep, gassing during the charge cycle, yes, can cause that. And if your water level is too high, then it's more exaggerated. William Risso says, go lithium waters for drinking. I would imagine, I don't know how much longer it's going to be before we actually quit talking about lead acid. It's definitely, in the golf cart world at least, I think it's going away, slowly but surely, in the golf cart world. Yeah, y'all, William Rizzo and Stephen Coon, they both said the same thing about the same time. Go lithium and forget the water problem. Yeah, it won't, I see in our lifetime for sure that we won't be talking about lead acid, at least for golf cart applications. Number 3, from Rob. Purchased a 2006 DS48 with 412s, and it will only do 12. Okay, a 2006, so that's going to be MCOR, the MCOR electrical system, whether it's an IQ or not, it's still going to be an MCOR. When I drive around the block, it will start to lose power till I release the gas pedal and push it back down. The batteries are 2017. Well, now, wait a minute, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 8 years old, dude. Okay, so I was wondering if a bad battery would cause it to do that. I checked all the batteries and they are showing 12 volts or higher. You got 12 volt batteries that are 2017? Okay, that would be the first thing that I would want to clear up right there, just to make sure that that's correct, because that would be very highly unusual if you have 12 volt batteries that lasted that long and the cart actually still rolls, because they generally don't last as long as the 48 volt system that has 6/8 in it, 6 8-volt batteries. So anyway, clear that up first and see if that's your problem. Eliminate batteries first. You need to get a load test done on those batteries or a discharge test done on those and see where you're at, because the symptoms you're describing could be one of 2 things. Could be the batteries themselves, which is very likely if those are 8 years old. I'd be leaning toward that as being the problem. And then the other one would be MCOR. Big Mike, side note, whoever told me to use the Blackstone squirt bottle to fill batteries, you deserve a raise. So much easier. Mike, I agree. I mean, obviously I have access to those fill bottles and I have used them in the past. I don't like them. I would rather use something like what you're doing there, some kind of squirt bottle, and get in there and just and it's much faster to me and much more accurate. I've even had the fill bottles malfunction to where you think you got it down all the way and it gets to the right level and doesn't shut off, and before you know it, you got stuff boiling out. And you're spilling stuff all over the place. So that has happened to me too. So that's why I don't really. It's not that I don't recommend the fill bottle. I'd rather you use a fill bottle than fill them up to the top. But a lot of times they can malfunction. As South Main Auto would say, lady, there's your problem. Ricky Smith says that's what he uses too. It's easier to me. And obviously it must be to you guys too. I got to the point where I didn't trust the fill bottle, is what the deal is. The battery filling system needs to be taken off and thrown away. Yes, I agree. The battery filling system needs to be taken off the market. On lead acid batteries, no, you don't want that. We talked about that before. People's batteries exploding. And I wish that I could actually see the actual stats. There have been people that their batteries have exploded while they're driving the cart or when they first get on the cart to back out of the garage. And what the deal is, there are people that have had one battery explode, but there are also people that have had all 6, boom, blow up at the same time. And I would like to see the stats on when that happened, how many of those carts had a battery filling system on there. I toasted my last set because of that stupid thing. Oh, of the battery filling system? Yeah, I definitely don't recommend that. I would rather you keep an eye on your batteries individually, because once you get that filling system, it gives you a false sense of security, a false sense of that, oh, well, I topped my batteries off, And anyway, I don't recommend that either. Number 4. Before I go to number 4, Donald Hahn. Is it Hahn or Hahn? Be John Hahn. Okay, it should be Hahn. Good afternoon from Chicago. Do we put the last question here, or is there another place? Yeah, you can put your question there, Donald. That's fine. Just put it there. And if I forget, remind me to look back up. Somebody will remind me if I don't get to it. Because friends don't let friends use lead acid. I will be making a change this season. There you go. Yep. Yeah, you can post a question right there, Don. We'll get to it, Donald. I have some regular questions that I go over, Donald, and then the live questions, you just type them right there in the chat. But I have some regular questions here. These are completely separate questions than what happens in the live. 2011 Club Car precedent: when pushing pedal on the cart is at max speed right after you hear the pedal switch. There is no in between, full power or nothing. Some testing that I have done on this is unplugging the 2 connectors under the floorboard, tested at pedal side, pedal micro switch. I can hear the switch click, meter shows short when pressed. Switch click, meter shows short when pressed, tested too good. Pedal micro switch shows open when pedal in normal system. Pedal M core, meter reads between 500 to 5K, move pedal slowly, up and down. Meter follows resistance very smoothly. I have an aftermarket controller, XCT 48300. When I bought the cart, it had this controller, and it worked end of 2024. Only test I did at controller 1, made sure controller was set to M core on Alltrack software settings. Use software to read controller live. Pedal shows 45% all the time. If I push pedal, it instantly goes to 100%. Okay, Now, let me back up, Donald. 2011 Club Car precedent. So you definitely have an M core, all right? You have an aftermarket controller, so you're not going to. You got two places you can get readings off of that car, all right? The diag port is probably okay. Is it going to be plugged? No, you got XCT. You can get the readings off of your controller. You can get all the readings off an XCT 48 volt 300. Everything that, especially the last thing you said, pedal shows 45% all the time. If I push pedal, it instantly goes to 100%. Well, there is no doubt about it. That is going to be one of two things. It's either going to be your M core or controller. Most common thing would be the M core. Now, what I would do is I would detail all of the information that you said, because you did everything. Now, did you find the test? Well, I was about to ask, did you find the test on the yellow wire that's plugged into the M core that uses insulation piercing probes? Because there's a club car test for the M core that uses insulation piercing probes on the yellow wire. You put your negative on the last battery negative and you pinch insulation on the yellow wire. This is all while it's still plugged in to the M core. And then you push the gas pedal and you're looking for like 0 to 4.75 volts. Did you ever find that test somewhere? Because I'm pretty sure that it's going to fail that test, because you said 45% all the time and you push it and it goes to 100%. I'm pretty sure that it's going to automatically go to the 4.75 volts when you barely push it. Oh, okay. It's stretched, so colors are all different. Okay, well that could cause a problem, because one of those pins, one of those plugs that's plugged into the M core has a yellow wire on it normally. Didn't do that test yet. If you verify that, see if you can find that test and figure that out first. That's one thing I would do. Now, the next thing I would do, let's just say that it ends up not being an M core. Well, it's going to be at that point, take all the information that you just typed in. By the way, that's very good how you typed all that in. I don't see how you did that. You must be able to type very well. Take all that information that you sent me and send it to Alltrax. See what they say. Alltrax is very good. They have a very good support system there at Alltrax. Their website is very good. Troubleshooting is very good. They would know what questions to ask you about. What does it say here? You know, when they want to look at the data logs and all that, they would know exactly what to ask, and they're looking for certain things. I would use that as a last resort before you bought any parts. Check for that test that I'm talking about, and then send exactly what you sent me to support at Alltrax, if you haven't done that already. Sweet, I will do that after I test for voltage with load. Yep, that would be a good idea too, to test with load. I remember this question, Donald. You must have sent this question in to Golf Cart Garage, because it seems like I remember reading it somewhere already, unless it's exactly the same thing that I had helped somebody with in the last couple of weeks. I think I'm on number 4 over here. Facebook. Okay, well, yeah, I may have seen it there then. It's just, I sort of remember it. From Brian, I need to know how to service my differential. I found the drain plug and no plug for filling. Well, that's because it's the same plug there, most likely. Brian, you notice how the drain plug might not be directly on the bottom, it might be on the side. Well, that's because it doesn't take very much gear oil or whatever. I need to know which cart we're talking about before I say something that's wrong for your particular cart. But generally, you just fill the differential up to the point where the gear oil is draining out of the same hole that you're filling it in, and then that's fine. But it does depend on which car we're talking about. Number 5. All right, this one was interesting. I think this is from Francis. I plan on leaving my cart down at the river camp during the summer, but I don't have a garage or storage building I can keep it in. I was planning on using the nylon cover and securing/chaining the cart to something that would prevent it from being driven off. We have not had any trouble down there in the years we have had the place, but I wanted to make sure my cart was secure. Do you have any ideas/suggestions on how to lock up the cart to prevent the casual thief from taking it? I was thinking chain and lock at first, but in talking with a guy at Home Depot, he said the cable locks are harder to cut than the chain. Well, anything you can do to make it more trouble for someone to just casually get on it that has the correct key, because all the keys work, all Yamaha keys work, all club car keys work in general, and then all Easy Go keys. I mean, I've got one of each on my key ring in case I had that for years. I had one key for each of the major brands, just so if the person had lost their key, I could take their cart and take it to my shop or whatever. But anyway, anything you can do to make it more trouble for a thief is a good thing. Now, one thing you may want to consider, chain it, do whatever you want to, but there's always bolt cutters that can cut a chain, and I'm sure there's always going to be a set of bolt cutters that can cut a cable. So you can, but that will cause someone more time and more trouble in order to try to drive off your car. But I would, I've seen people in the villages up the steering wheel club. Oh yeah, you could use a club on the steering wheel. You could also think about disabling the cart, because if a thief can't just get on it and drive off real quick, they'll probably lose interest and move on to something else. So there's all kinds of ways that you could secretly disable the cart. You could put a switch on almost any wire in there, a hidden switch up under the back or something, where that switch had to be clicked in order for that car to run. Something like that. You might ought to consider that. Maybe somebody that is good with electrics could help you with that, to come up where you could put a switch. But well, David Irwin, yeah, take the wheels off. Take one wheel off. Yeah, just take one wheel off and take it with you. That'd be a good idea. Jack it up on a jack, take one wheel off and take that with you. Donald Hahn said he bought a new ignition with a different key. Stephen Coons had the same idea that I did. Is a hidden switch helps prevent that theft. Yeah. Louis Borghese, same as Donald Hahn, bought a new key switch with a unique key. Yeah, that'd make it easy too. But if they're savvy, they can get behind there and pull those wires off that key switch. And well, I guess I shouldn't tell how you can steal a cart on live YouTube, but there's ways around that, and you got to think about that. I like taking the wheel off or hidden switch. Mike says also add I think you meant an air tag, but he said air bag, but GPS tracker. Yeah, air tag. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely. You could put one of them on there. That's what I want to do. I want to have one of those AirTag things on everything I got. So I would love to be able to track somebody. There's videos on YouTube I watch of them tracking down stolen merchandise, with an AirTag in it that they didn't know. That's kind of cool. Aaron, he does the same thing. Aaron says, I have hidden switches and a tracking device you wouldn't find unless you took the cart apart. See, that's awesome. See, that's cool. Bare AC wires on steering wheel. Almost missed the show. Eagle River Mike was out winterizing my 18-foot 1956 Century Resorter Woody. Cool. Send me some pictures, Eagle River Mike. I'll show them. I'll show pictures of that. Lots of good ideas on disabling the cart. Anything to make it more trouble for the thief is a good thing. We have the tile tags on all of our carts, trailers, and side-by-sides. Do you find, Aaron, do you find that that's the best one? Because I know there's lots of choices out there. Tile, I mean, T-I-L-E. Is that better than air tags? Or what's y'all's opinion on those tracking devices? Would people that have experience with them? I would like to know, because I want to buy a bag of them. And because I got several things that I don't want somebody to don't want to get stolen. I've been through that already, and it's not a good experience to have your personal property taken. So everybody in the chat who has used some type of tracking device, I would be interested in which ones you recommend. There are apps for phone that you can find the AirTag and then remove them. They work with the App Life 360. I refuse to use Apple products. So the tiles are pretty good, is what you're saying? Daniel at Galactic says, I'm curious on those too. Yeah, that's what I want to know, because I've heard, you know, that the Apple AirTags, they know immediately. They look at their phone, they say they've got a tracking device on it. Well, that's actually a deterrent. You know, even if they do that, they would have to spend more time trying to find the tracking device. You know, even if they knew it was there. I've had a motorcycle stolen in the past, and I wish I had a GPS on it. Same with me, Daniel. I had a motorcycle stolen. I did, a dirt bike. Stephen Coon says, with my lithium battery, I just turn off battery with Bluetooth app to protect against theft. See, that's awesome. Yeah, something like that, something as simple as that could make it. They'd never figure that out. Well, they couldn't. They wouldn't have the app. We need low jack for golf carts. Yep. Yeah, I don't see how they get away with that. Like, I wish I don't know if I told y'all how much stuff I had stolen. My shop, my golf cart shop, got broken into in 2017, May of 2017. And it's still on my mind, because the list of stuff that they stole was huge. And some of the items they stole was huge, including a dirt bike. I don't see how they got away with it, but they did. They got away with it. Yeah, they didn't find one piece of my stuff, the cops. They didn't find one item from an item that was 100 things long. They didn't find anything. So where did it go? I mean, the police should know. They have experience at this. It's not like I'm the only person that has had their shop broken into, and a lot of items. I find it amazing that they don't know where my stuff went to. It's not like that they don't do that for a living, you know. William Rizzo, let's see, they are very close to real time as long as they have access to internet and cell towers. William Rizzo puts an alarm on both of his carts. Okay, cool. That would be good too. Hi, Tim, Jerry Kelly. That's my wife. She says, oh, Lord, now you got him going. Because I was talking about me getting robbed, and she's been listening to me complain about that since 2017. That's why she's making fun of me right there. Mike. The bad thing with some LiPo batteries is that you can access the discharge on-off switch through your battery screen. Thieves from out of town. Mike cameras. Yep. Well, I'll stop. I'll stop talking about my robbery. Number 6, from Paul R. I've seen a traction control kit for a club car electric, but only for the Kawasaki rear end, and I've heard mixed reviews as to how well it works. Do you know of a functional quality kit for a 2002 DS with a Graziano rear end? Housing bolts go from the passenger side. I know can't be at any potential customer for positive traction, so it may be that it's not possible to convert a stock transaxle. Your suggestions are greatly appreciated. The only thing that I know about people doing with the Graziano, by the way, the Graziano rear end is probably the strongest rear end out there for a golf cart. I've seen those take a lot of horsepower and hold together. That's the best one. Kawasaki rear end, not so much. You don't want to start pulling wheelies too much with an E-Z-GO rear end, the Dana, and an E-Z-GO. You don't want to pull wheelies with a Kawasaki, but a Graziano will take a big hit before it breaks. So that's probably the best one. The only thing that I've seen people do is I don't think that there's a kit that will do exactly what you're wanting it to do. Now, you could make it positive traction by welding the gears, welding the spiral gears up. You know, get a welder that probably has done it before on automobiles. It's the same kind of rear end as a car. So you can weld the gears and make it positive traction if that's what you want. But once you do it, it's done. It's a done deal. It's positive all the time. Car's not going to turn very well. It's going to tear up the grass every time you turn. It's going to be meant for straight line use only. So you need to be careful if you're talking about modifying that rear end to do something else that it's not designed to do. Mike, I've had Arlos for years. Local golf course had 10 golf carts stolen one night. See there? How in the world do they even think that they can get away with that? And then sometimes they do. 10 golf carts. Where are they going? Where did the 10 golf carts go? That's a big haul. See, that's what they did at my shop. I'm not going to get back on it again. My wife's going to make fun of me again. I've got cameras all over my shop, and I still had a 13-year-old kid break into my vape shop. They caught the kid, but I'm still not reimbursed for damages or stealing of the product. Yeah, I don't. What's the range of the air tags? Reggie Black. Well, if the way that I understand it, air tags would just the range is unlimited because they connect to iPhones as they're driving down the road. So as long as they get close to somebody with an iPhone, it doesn't matter how far away they are. If that's what you're asking, Reggie, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question correctly. Mike, need a zero turn cart. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have that. That's obviously that is very possible to have a zero turn golf cart. Yeah, that's very possible. We already have the technology for sure. Number 7. Number 7 is from Sean. I know E-Z-GO has lift kits already for the RXP, but do they have heavy-duty springs for it? Does it have leaf springs in the rear or coils? I would think that a 4-passenger kit, it would need some extra help. Number 7. Well, leaf springs in the rear, coils in the front, and heavy-duty springs are always going to be recommended if you're going to put a 4-passenger kit on any golf cart. Reggie Black says, "Thanks. That's what I was asking." Yeah, as long as it gets close to somebody with an iPhone, you're going to. I mean, I'm understanding that correctly, right, guys? Isn't that how a AirTag works? I don't have any because I've been doing research and trying to figure out which one I want to buy a bag of. That's why I was asking for opinions on it. Mike, tell me about Arlos. Explain to me the simple version of what that is. southern Indiana, and I live in central Indiana. I could see the air tags moving up the highway from 2.5 hours away. That's what I was saying. The range is actually not a problem. It's unlimited, correct? My parents have them on their carts and trailers. Oh, Arlos is wireless cameras. Okay, I got you. That's right. I have seen that. I have seen Arlos. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I got that. I got security system and wireless cameras and notifications to your phone. Yeah, that's what I have. I have a similar system than, on my security system for the house and this building also. Yeah, the tags will track on any iPhone. I use the old tracker tag with Android and they work the same way. Okay, cool. Helpless. Number 8. I've replaced both front hubs on my G16 and the tires are still now in at the top and out at the bottom. Well, just replacing the hubs is definitely not going to change that. Thought it was bearing, so I replaced both hubs. When jacked up, the tires looked good, but let down and moved the cart a little back and forth, bowing in at the top of the wheel. Well, everything you're saying sounds normal. Now, it could be an exaggerated condition because your coil springs are worn out. Because, on a Yamaha, if you press the front end down, that does move those tires in and out a little bit. And if your coil springs are worn in the front, and it could very well be worn on a G16. That's a pretty old cart. So that may be what you're trying to fix right there. But there's no adjustment. You're talking about camber and caster. There's no adjustment there. So the only thing it could be would be worn coil springs up front. Coilovers. Number 9. Number 9 is from Samuel. My wheels are straight, but the steering wheel is off a bit. I have read on the internet to just remove the steering wheel and replace actual wheel on pole lined up. Where are the bolts to get the steering wheel off? I guess I don't have to go near steering box. Wheel, and we're talking about a 99 G16. Now it's going to be, there's only one nut and it's on the steering wheel, and if you have a scorecard on your steering wheel or you're running the stock steering wheel, you got to remove that scorecard. That's in the way of the nut. But yeah, you take it off right there at the steering wheel. So get whatever's in your way out of the way, and then you'll see the nut, and then you take the nut off, and then you might still have a problem because a lot of that steering wheel is on a tapered shaft, a tapered spline shaft. So depending on how tight they had put that nut, it could be on there pretty tight. You might have to lube it, you might have to work it left and right, top and bottom. You might have to, one of the best pieces of advice on steering wheel removal is take the nut off and see if it comes off easy. If it doesn't, don't fight with it yet. Put that nut back on a couple of threads, not all the way. Just a couple of threads. Put that nut back on as a safety thing, because you'll hit yourself right in the face with that steering wheel if it pops off. So put that nut back on and just leave yourself a little bit of slack. Once the slack is popped there, then you can take the nut off and just remove the steering wheel. That's probably $1,000 worth of good advice right there. Which one was that? Was that number 9? Oh, let me go back to number 9 for a second. Now, let me talk about that some more. I always tell people, don't worry about your steering wheel being crooked first. First thing you do is align your front end, all right? Do the 1/8 inch toe in, go drive your cart, turn all the way to the left, take note of how tight your circle is, turn all the way to the right, take note of how tight your circle is there. If they're both relatively even, if the cart drives good and straight, don't worry about your steering wheel yet being crooked. Then take your steering wheel off and put it back in the right spot. That's the last thing you do on a front end alignment is remove your steering wheel and move it to the right spot. Check your circles first. Check your right and left, of your circle. Donald Hahn got to go. Thanks for. Hey, Donald, we're giving away a hat, man. If you can wait just a minute, we're going to give away a hat. Okay, last question is from Willie, and then we're going to give away a hat. Hey Tim, I own a 2001 electric E-Z-GO golf cart and the steering wheel is crooked, the alignment is fine. I just need to turn the wheel to the right to make it straight. Can you please explain to me in simple terms as possible how I can loosen or detach the wheel so I can get it straight? I'm not really good with this stuff and could use all the help I can get. I don't want to mess anything up. Well, you're exactly right, Willie, and I just went over that. Get your front end alignment perfect, get your circles how tight your circles are. Make sure they're relatively even to the left and to the right, and at that point you're good to go. As long as the cart drives fine, in a straight line, doesn't pull to either direction, then the last thing you do, take your steering wheel off, correct it, and put it back on, because it's on a splined, tapered shaft. So all you got to do is pull it off, turn it a little bit, and then put it back on. Mike, never sees. Oh, you may talk about on the spline paper shaft. Well, if your circles are off, Paul Fortunes asks, how do you correct circles? If your circles are off, then you got something else wrong, because on your front end alignment, all you're doing is adjusting those two tie rods. You got a little bit of adjustment in tie rods to get your 1/8 inch toe in. But if you've got a circle that's wrong, then you got to go back to your steering box, because on a lot of cars there's another adjustment that you can use to get your circles right. Okay, that's going to screw your steering wheel all up too. That's what I'm saying. Wait to do your steering wheel very last. Get your circles right, and then get your front end alignment right, and then take your steering wheel off. All right. Big Mike, I found it's best to center it while driving on flat ground. Let's make sure your toe is good, then drive in a straight line and like 20 straight feet, pull the wheel off and put it in the center. Exactly, yeah. Just get everything right. Make sure your cart's driving good, it's not pulling. And then on flat ground, straight line, flat ground, and then take your steering wheel off, put it in the right position, and put it back on. You'll be good to go. Benny Russell, I'm running late. Oh, Benny, we're giving away a hat, man. In fact, we're fixing to give away one here in just a minute. Let's see, I did let's see, some carts. I forgot, I'm glad I shut it. I'm glad I'm through with the regular questions, because we got Stephen Coon's cart. I told him I was going to show it. Stephen sent me some pictures. Check this out. You ready? Bam! This Stephen Coon's cart, E-Z-GO, looks like it started out life as an E-Z-GO medalist, probably 1995, somewhere in that range, because he's got the black thing across the front. It's a metal body front, I can tell. He's got the things in the rear. But check out his 12-volt work. That's his dash. That is pretty cool. E-Z-GO Redneck Edition. That's cool. Yellow and black. Bumblebee, yep. There's his racing steering wheel. But check out that dash. I've never seen a E-Z-GO TXT with that kind of dash. That is pretty cool. Big Mike, I had a black and yellow cart marathon just like that. My wife called it Bumblebee. I think that they should still make Just like I think that they should still make Yamaha G1s, G1 gas. They should still make that. I think they should still, E-Z-GO should still make marathons. I do. That's a marathon is a tank, just like a G1 gas is. And I'm talking about electric marathon is fine. Yeah, electric marathon would be fine. Benny Russell, nice. Brad's restoration looks sweet. Thank you, Stephen, for sending me those in. I'll put my email address up here in a second so people can send me some more pictures. All right. Those carts always remind me of Fred Flintstone's car. You talking about marathons? Helpless? Stephen Coon says it's a 95 medalist. Yep, that's what I thought. Pretty cool though. Thank you for sending me those. All right, today's winner of the bag of swag is I wish I could show y'all this. My wife texts me the winner. She every time we give away a hat, but you can't really see it real good on the camera. I wish I could. We thought about running it on the screen so you could see it, but it became too complicated. Anyway, today's winner of the bag of swag is, this is random, I can assure you, this is random, this is totally legit random, is Big Mike. Congratulations, Big Mike. Ron said, I sent you a few pictures via email and a video on your Facebook Messenger. All right, cool. Big Frank says you pronounced Big Frank wrong. Big Mike is the winner of the bag of swag. I know he's been complaining for a long time. Changing my name. Vinny Russell says he's changing his name. Where is my email there? There it is. All right, Mike, in case you didn't know, there's my email, 00timfreeman@gmail.com. Send me some contact information. I'll give you a call if you're not busy after I get off the live, because I'm going to need to get your first and second choice on some things, because we're running out of different items, and I'm going to get your first and second choice just so we get that straight. Joe Foster, I haven't won yet. I have not seen my name come across for about a year now. Did you ever win, Aaron? My wife has a list. I don't know. I don't know who has won. I can't remember now who has won and who has not. Oh, so you never have. Okay, cool. Okay. Keep in mind, Mike, you got that shirt you can choose from. You also can choose for that Eco battery hat that's on the screen now. If you didn't want one of the Golf Cart Garage hats, you can choose that Eco battery hat. That's why I said we're going to get first and second. We don't have that one anymore. I need to quit showing that one. I know that we're out of that one. There's that hat I'm talking about, and that's the front of the Eco Battery shirt. And there's the golf cart garage hats. Obviously you can get one of those if you would like. Mike, Tim, can I send you a picture of a Yamaha front wheel drive completely one off? Sure, I'd like to see that, Mike. Anything like that. That is absolutely, I will show that. I like to see what people come up with. That's why I like Stephen Kuhn's picture. I've never seen a dash like that. You know, so send me a front wheel drive Yamaha. That'll be neat. Stephen Kuhn still waiting to win. Your time's coming, patience. It's very fast. Cool. See, I want to see it because I'd be interested in how it steers. How are you steering that? You know, if it's front wheel drive. So things like that. You don't have to answer. You can send me, when you send me the pictures, put that in the description. You know, make a little description and I'll feature the description also. So because people are going to have questions about how it steers and everything. That's funny, that hat graphic, it doesn't stay up there. It goes away after a certain amount of time. I didn't realize that. All right, cool. Where am I at here? Okay, coupon, active coupon. Get 5% off of if you use Tim's discount code, which is GHOD10. GHOD10. To second place in bragging rights. Okay, guys. Looks like that's going to be about it for today. If I'm not missing anything, Stephen Kuhn, have to send you new pictures of Dash. Been upgraded since lithium. All right, cool. Send them, Stephen. Yeah, I guess I can leave that email up there on the screen. All the questions are done. The coupon. We did the let's see. Did the hat graphic. Big Mike is the winner, finally, of a bag of swag and a hat. I think we got it. Aaron, I just got done 3D printing a double DIN radio bezel to hold the radio in my Dash. I also 3D print 2 more pods that hold 4 more 4-inch speakers in my double take roof. Cool. Yep, email me a contact, Big Mike, and I'll call you in a little bit if that's all right. I mean, I can't call you. It's going to take me a few minutes before I call you. And by the way, if you get an unrecognized number, that's me, because I have to call you through a computerized system. Kurt, what's going on, Kurt? See y'all next week. Yep, I think we're gonna get out of here. I will see everybody next time. Next time will be, looks like October 21st. That'll be when we're back. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. And who knows? We may give a hat away again next week because it's just whenever I feel like it. So you got to come back to see in case you want to win. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Thanks for showing up. The garage is now closed.